Hello everyone, it is Thursday and that means it's time for another one of my draft videos. We're not doing Ixalan though, we're doing some Vintage Masters flashback. This is actually the first time I've ever drafted this format because when it came out on Magic Online was a time when I wasn't playing Magic basically. So this is not a Phantom draft, so I actually need to check how much that Strip Mine's worth. There's a lot of cards in this set that are worth a lot. This one's not though, surprisingly. In paper, obviously, this is only worth a ticket. But anyway, this is my first time drafting this format. I have read up on it some, but that is the extent of what I've done. So, yeah, let me know what you think. If you've drafted this format a lot, how you think I did here. Blowing up a land's not a bad thing. It's a little less good in limited, though. Mistmoon Griffin's pretty good. Just a 4-mana 2/2 that brings a creature back from your graveyard. This pack in general is not super exciting, though. There's not like a uncommon that makes me want to build a certain kind of deck. Like there's like goblins and there's a lot of synergy. I could just take a mana elf, which, it's usually not a bad thing. And I think that is what I'm going to do here in the end, is take the elf. The pack was not super strong. I don't really like Sheevan Worm. There is a Fire Blast, which is pretty good. It can be free 4 damage. There is a Goblin Matron, so if we wanted to try to force goblins, which is something I want to do, I want to play the goblin deck in this format. There's also just a Serendipity Freed who's just like good in a aggro deck. Same with Fallen Ascari. Ghost Cloak Carrier is fine. I think I'm going to take the Goblin Matron though. See if we can make this goblin thing happen. Maybe I should take Fire Blast, but I'm taking Goblin Matron. More goblins? No, there's an Urnimjin, which is a solid little card. Also a Jungle Worm. That's nothing super exciting. Here's a card that helps you enable graveyard strategies. There are reanimation spells in this format, which is nice. I think I'm just going to take Urnimjin, though, over these other things. We could take another Mana Elf, but yeah, I think I'm going to take the Jin. He is an interesting card because he was once, some people thought of him as one of the best creatures in all of Magic, and now he's an uncommon. So he's still pretty good and limited, but yeah. I mean, giving your opponent Forest Walk on one of their creatures isn't great, but you do get to choose which one. I feel like they should have errated non-wall to say non-defender, but I think maybe every creature with defender in Vintage Masters is a wall. Ooh, Dreampod Druid is nice. If you want to try to build an Aura deck in this format, there's a Goblin here and a Goblin here and a Benalish Trapper, but I think I'm going to try to take Dreampod Druid and see if we can make an Aura deck happen. I'm just sort of taking these really high payoff cards. This is a very synergistic format, not dissimilar from Iconic Masters, which we just saw. And Dreampod Druid is one of those, and Ixalan, honestly. Synergy is a big thing. If you see a card like this, it usually means that archetype is fairly open. So with this, you just want auras, and you to go crazy. And we already have 2 other green cards, so it's not exactly far-fetched. Probably not going to end up playing a Matron here. Another Fyndhorn Elves. This is pretty good if you have auras. We don't actually have any yet. Phyrexian Defiler's not bad. Teros Faithful's not bad. Here's another Goblin. I think I may just take the Goblin here. Should I just take another Mana Elf, maybe? Let's just take another Mana Elf. Let's do it. It's tempting to take a Goblin because we took that early Matron, but what we really want to see is the War Chief. That's a really good sign that it's open. I mean, the Matron is a decent sign, but not as good as Goblin War Chief. Wow, there's 2 Skirk Drill Sergeants. There's a Wild Mongrel here, and I think I'm going to take it over the Aura just because this enables way more things. It enables Madness, and it enables Graveyard Strategies, enables Threshold, and yes, this would be a good Aura for our Dreampod Druid, but we're just going to take the Mongrel. I think green is very open for the Mongrel and the Embrace to still be here. Drill Sergeants are solid, but only in the Goblin deck. Okay, well, here's a good card with Cycling. That's not really what we want, but that is a good sign. Cycling might be open. We don't have any payoffs for that, though. I think I'm going to take Benevolent Bodyguard. If we end up in the Aura deck, we need this creature to help protect our suited-up creatures, and it's a lot better than Simian Grunts or any of these other random things. We haven't really picked a second color yet, but if we're going to be a Dreampod Druid deck, white's a good place to be. Now, blue is a place to look at because of Wild Mongrel. We sort of have 2 cards that work well. Wild Mongrel is good with Madness, and Dreampod Druid's good with Auras, but I think I'm going to take the Bodyguard. We obviously can also consider ramping. Okay. So this is an aura. It's not an incredible one, though. I mean, it's just 2 mana for +2/+2, which, yeah, Dream Pod Druid's nice, but I think I might just take the Root Wall instead. We can discard it to Wild Mongrel and get a free card. Looks like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones a little bit. Or an Aquaman now, I guess. But I think... Which of these do I want more? I'm taking the Root Walla. Okay, so... White cards, huh? Well, Sidar Jabari's not bad. Neither is Mistmoon Griffin. Which do I like more? If we're an aggressive deck, being able to tap down one of our opponent's creatures is pretty nice. This is another card that's good once we get auras. But since I'm not 100% convinced that's going to happen, I'm going to take one of these white creatures. I think I'll take Sidar Jabari. Okay, now I think we take an Armor of Thorns. Provoke's not bad. Phantom Nomad's not bad. But yeah, here we're going to take an aura. Here we can take a Cycling Land or Provoke. Nothing special. Neither is Jungle Worm. I think I'm just going to take a Cycling Land. Just as they were in Amonkhet, they're quite good here. Jungle Worm or Provoke. So this sort of makes... It's sort of like a fight card, a really bad version of one. I guess I'll take it. Okay, Taro's Faithful really isn't a bad card. This is a good sideboard card, but I think this will probably just make the cut. You gain Shroud until end of turn, sure. Here's a Shelter. So we got a really late Shelter. So we just need to get like more Dream Pod Druids and more auras. And I think green-white is going to look good. We want an Armadillo Cloak. That would be nice. Realm Seekers. Are you the one that cares about cards? Yes. Okay. So, not a lot for us here. I mean, Beneless Trapper is quite good, and it's probably what we're going to take. Nature's Lore helps us ramp, but we're not really a ramp deck. I mean, you know, our elves can ramp us enough. Yeah, I don't really want Death Reap Ritual. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take Beneless Trapper here over... Like, Tangle's good against some of the aggressive decks in the format. But yeah, we'll take the Trapper. Oh, there's an Arrogant Worm and an Elephant Guy. This is sort of a... I think Elephant Guy is just going to be better for us because our Arrogant Worm right now we have one outlet for discarding, and it's not that easy to find them in green. Yeah, we have a Mongrel, so taking one's not a bad idea. But auras, this is going to be good no matter what in our deck, and it's going to be better if we get more things like Dream Pod Druid. So, yeah, I think I take Elephant Guide over the Worm. It is hard, though. The Worm's good if you can, you know, if you can go turn 2 Mongrel, turn 3 Worm, that's incredible. But we only have one Mongrel at this point. And I think Elephant Guide, you know, it has a lower... what am I trying to say? It has a higher floor but a lower ceiling. But I think that's okay. So here's a Gaia's Embrace, more auras all around. We got Fyndhorn Elves. Probably just Gaia's Embrace. I mean, Renewed Faith's okay. Mistmoon Griffin's okay, but yeah, we're just gonna take another aura here. So even if it's not, we're not putting it on Dream Pod Druid. If we have ways to protect our aura creatures like Benevolent Bodyguard and Shelter, that works out pretty well too, I think. What do I want here? Do we want a Plateau? How much is that worth? I don't think it's worth that much on Magic Online, but especially since it got passed. Let's see. It can also help us splash for what that's worth. No, it's not worth anything. Okay, so I think maybe we just take a Tranquil Thicket here. We could think about the Nomad. Nomad is good with auras. Let's take the Nomad. Because it prevents all damage dealt to it. And then if it has power and toughness in addition, thanks to auras, it gets to be even bigger. Spirit Mirror is kind of a weirdo card, but it's not a terrible one. Things are kind of getting cut on us. This makes sure I always have a 2/2 in play, basically. But which is sort of okay, but it's not great. I'm probably going to take... I can either take Taro's Faithful or Tangle. I think I'm going to take a Tangle here. It's pretty good against goblins especially, which is what we wanted to draft, but... We definitely want some more aura payoffs and such. This is good with auras because it can become unblockable. Do we have any flyers right now? I don't think we do, so that wouldn't be terrible. Mountain Valley is not bad. I think I'm going to take the Soltari Emissary. Okay, here's another Arrogant Worm. I think we take this one. Oh, there's also a Brilliant Halo, though. And that just keeps coming back. We're again looking at Aura versus Madness, and we're just not in a color pair that does Madness well, other than green. So I think, once again, what you want to be is blue-green, where you have a card like this that can enable it. Afterlife's not terrible. We are kind of short on removal, but I think I'm going to take another Aura here. Okay, another Benevolent Bodyguard is, I think, what we take here. We can protect our Aura creatures with it. Nostalgic Dreams is kind of okay. That does set up Madness, potentially. This can Forest Cycle, which isn't the worst. This can just find a forest. I guess this being able to be just played as a big dude later might be a little better. I don't really want a second Tangle. So I don't think we want Renewed Faith. I think we'd rather have a Taro's Faithful, but I don't know if we're playing either. I do like Mistmoon Griffin. Simian Grunts. Another Taro's Faithful. Nobody wants them. I'm not sure I'll be playing mine either. So we're still much shorter on like more Dream Pod Druids. But, you know, we do have cards like Phantom Nomad, which are good with auras. We've got 2 Bodyguards and a Shelter, and those are all good with auras. Here we'll take this as a sideboard card. Yeah, and I think I like the Nomad again in this deck for reasons already mentioned. We have a bunch of auras. Ooh, Saproling Burst was a cool card back in the day. There's another Wild Mongrel. So this just like makes a huge creature, but it shrinks basically. You can actually make multiples too, like 2, 3, 3s. And that's nice, but I think I'd rather just have a Mongrel. Sets us up so like if we see any more Arrogant Worms, we'll feel a little better about them. Here's another good card for if you're trying to Madness. Paralyze is a good removal spell. But yeah, we're going to take the well, do we need removal more than we need a Wild Mongrel? Nah, let's just take the Mongrel. So Jareth Leonine Titan. That is a card. This guy's good with auras. Anything with Provoke is, plus he can't be blocked by more than one creature, so he just gets out of control. Astral Slides here. That's a deck in this format. Cycling, red-white cycling. So we don't really I don't think I want another Shelter or Jareth. I think I'm just going to take Krosan Vorine. We could think about the Noble Templar. It does have plain cycling. We could also think about Sultai Trooper, I guess. Also good with auras since it's unblockable. And keeps our deck more an aggro deck. Yeah, let's do it. Sultai Trooper it is. Radiant Archangel doesn't really work in our deck, sadly. There's another Elephant Guide. I think we just snap that up over Benevolent Bodyguard, which might just wheel based on what we've seen. Or another Vorine, because Elephant Guide is just great. This is kind of aura I really love because of the fact that it replaces itself. You know, if your creature dies, you get a creature out of it. Okay, so this is an interesting pack. Do we have enough white creatures for Battle Screech, or do we want Grisly Fate? They're both good. We're not going to get Threshold super easily, but it is doable. We have 2 Mongrels and a few other things going on. Battle Screech, we need a bunch of white creatures. At this point, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You actually don't need a bunch. You just need a few white creatures. I think I may just take Battle Screech. We're sort of just turning into an aggro deck. Grisly Fate is great if you can hit Threshold. And our deck's not going to be great at that, unfortunately. So I think we're going to take Battle Screech here. Ooh, World Gorger Dragon. So there's not much for us here. Another Tangle for the sideboard's probably just what I take. Don't really like the grunts. Echo should make creatures cost a lot less than the grunts does. Another Elephant Guide. Deal. I will take it. I wish I had more than one Dream Pod Druid, but I feel like we're getting there. I mean, we're definitely in trouble against opponents who are just like super removal heavy, but ooh, we did it. We got Dream Pod Druid number 2 late. That is good news. That is going to make our deck a lot better. Just having this great aura payoff and a bunch of good auras is pretty much where you want to be. So you're probably not going to get played. I'm not convinced you're going to get played. You probably will. You work well with auras. Another Elephant Guide or another Phantom. I think we just take another Elephant Guide. We could think about Gustcloak Harrier, but I think I want 4 Elephant Guides. Who doesn't? So yeah, the reason you don't need a ton of white creatures for this is it actually makes 2 for you. So you only need 1 other in play to pay 4 and make 4 1/1 white flyers. It's like Lingering Souls before Lingering Souls. Well, if I could splash, Death Grasp would be nice. Maybe there's some small chance we find a way to splash. I mean, I don't really want another Mistmoon Griffin. The one may not even make the deck. I do kind of wish I picked up that 1 Arrogant Worm, but we only have the 2 discard outlets. So occasionally we'll get to madness him into play. Okay, here's another Shelter. As aura heavy as we are, I kind of think that's what we want here. Noble Templar's fine, but you want to be the cycling deck probably, and I think our mana is going to be fine. Definitely has some things to trim. But I'm liking the look of this mostly. Can we get a 3rd Dream Pod Druid? Live the dream. I think I'll probably move Tangle to my sideboard. We have like no removal. We're mostly just like an aggro deck, planning on just like slamming auras onto all of our creatures basically, and just winning that way, which sounds like a lot of fun. This makes a Saproling upkeep, right? Yes. Funny upside is that if someone puts an aura on it that shuts it down, like because it's a huge Elephant Guide, a Dream Pod Druid, I still get the Saproling. Well, I guess Elephant Guide will already be on it, so it doesn't matter. I will take another Benevolent Bodyguard. I kind of feel like, you know, we ended up with a pretty ideal version of the green-white aura deck. I mean, ideal would be like 7 Dream Pod Druids, so that's not going to happen, but like lots of ways to protect our guys with auras, multiple good auras. We do have some things we need to trim, and we need to figure that out. We may just like not want these. This is an aura, but it's kind of a stupid one. Tangle number 2, 3 for the sideboard. I guess I'll take the aura. I may end up cutting Cedar Jabari or Mistmoon Griffin. I'm cutting one of those. We need to make several cuts. It'll be easier to look at once we get to the actually deck building. This is nice if you're trying to go Storm, but we're not. We'll take one of these guys finally. So yeah, we need to make 5 cuts. Yeah. I mean, I guess Mongrels could have helped us get to Threshold for that Grizzly Fate or whatever. Is it Grizzly Fate? Grizzled Fate? The thing that makes a bunch of... Hey, I don't hate Giant Mantis for my sideboard. Don't think I'm going to play it. I'm trying to get my deck down on curve as much as possible. So this is kind of a weird, you know, it's one of these old cards that has like this ridiculous wording. Basically, what it says is it has flash, but if you flash it in, it only lasts for that turn. So yeah, that's what all that text says. That's what it means. It's kind of confusing actually, the way they have it worded. It has it worded like in a very technical way. It says if you cast it anytime a sorcery couldn't have been cast, the controller of the permanent it becomes. So it's talking about itself becoming a permanent, which we don't really see on cards because it's very confusing wording, but they didn't care in the old days. But yeah, it's basically a 2 mana +2/+2 that can occasionally work as a combat trick, basically, which isn't the worst. Okay. So, aura-wise, so we got a couple ways to protect our dudes, which I think we want. We have 4 or 5. We have 7 auras. I think that's probably about right. I don't think I want to cut any of them. I wish Rancor were in this format, but this format's not allowed to have any cards legal in Modern, and Rancor was time shifted at some point. It might have actually been printed in a core set. Okay. So Baneless Trapper's good. These cards are just like all good. That's the problem. The format's just that strong. These guys can become unblockable. I wish I had an Armadillo Cloak so badly. Okay, guys. I think I might be just cutting both of these 4s who aren't Urnham Djinn. Of course, if I cut 4s, I'm much less interested in running 2 Fyndhorn Elves too. So that kind of... because I'll only have 3 4-drops. And yeah, I can ramp into Elephant Guide and put it on my Fyndhorn Elves, but that's nothing special. So... yeah, I think we cut both of those. I don't think we cut anything down here. I think we cut 1 Fyndhorn Elves, because who needs to ramp? And then we have to decide, like, out of the sort of medium cards, which are these 4, we have to cut 2 of them. I think we always want to hold on to the Mongrel just because of all the things, like threat of activation is such a real thing. And I mean, and we really can just, like, you know, attack with it with 4 cards in our hand and be like, what are you going to do? And that's always pretty great. So it's like, these are all sort of feel like the same thing to me. I guess Unblockable is going to be a little bit better. Maybe I just cut both Nomads. But the idea of the Nomad with an equipment on it, making it so it just won't take damage. If it has an aura on it, it'll just be able to block or attack indefinitely. That's too attractive. So maybe let's cut the guy who doesn't always have Shadow and 1 Phantom Nomad. That seems fair, I think. Yeah, this looks like our deck. We do have 1 Cycling Land. Sort by color. Definitely more green than white. But we definitely need our white. Okay, I was expecting it to give me a crazy split, but I actually think... do I want 9 white sources? I only have 1 double white card. And I have more green cards. I think I'd rather actually do this. So I have 9 green sources and 8 white sources. Yeah. All right. This should be our deck. I feel like, you know, based on old draft videos I watched and things I read, this is a pretty good version of the green-white aura deck. So I'll see you guys in the first match. All right, we're going to the first match of a Vintage Masters draft, and we would like to play first. We are an aggressive deck after all. This is a good hand. We can go turn 2 Dream Pod Druid. It would be better. Oh, actually, we don't have green mana, do we? So maybe it's not that good. I think because I have a Cycling Land, I am going to keep it. God, because, yeah, if I just draw a land, this hand's kind of nuts. We can do it, I believe. I'm going to cycle this Secluded Steppe at the end of my opponent's turn. Try to hit a forest. And if we can, yeah, we try to go Dream Pod Druid, Elephant Guide. Ideal would be to have our 1 mana Benevolent Bodyguard first, because it could protect the Dream Pod Druid when I cast Elephant Guide on it, but, you know, you can't have a perfect hand, right? Alright, so they're passing. We will cycle this. Give us a forest. Well, there's Benevolent Bodyguard. Yeah, another freaking plane. I will play Benevolent Bodyguard and feel pretty good about it. We do need green mana, though. They're doing the exact same thing we did. Are they going to play Benevolent Bodyguard now, too? Yeah, they might. They're a green-white deck. They're probably also enchantment heavy, like we are. This is not good. Should we have kept this hand? I don't know. I think we just end the turn. We could put Brilliant Halo on our Benevolent Bodyguard, I guess. But that hardly seems worth it. So I'm just going to end the turn. Now I can play Dreampod Druid and Brilliant Halo in the same turn, assuming I draw a forest. So that's not too bad. But yeah, they're probably a deck very similar to ours. So this card is really good against us because it can lock down our Dreampod Druid. But we can still be making Saprolings every turn. So that's not too bad of a thing, right? So I'm going to play Dreampod Druid since we finally drew our forest. And I'm going to put Brilliant Halo on it. And we're going to start making Saproling tokens. That's the plan anyway. Obviously our opponent can tap him down every turn, but that may mean we spread the love with some of our other auras. Instead of putting them on Dreampod Druid, we could put it on a Saproling that Dreampod Druid makes, for example. Okay. Well, they're going to be paying their echo cost on their upkeep. Oh my god, it's each upkeep. That is insane. I admittedly did not know that, since this is a format I've never played before. I knew it was good. I didn't know it was, like, stupid good. Wow. That is very nice. So they still have the mana to tap a guy if they want. I don't imagine they attack with their Simian Grunts. If they do, I think I'm pretty happy because I put Elephant Guide on the Saproling that'll be able to attack. Yeah. So here's another Saproling. Okay, so now we have Gaia's Embrace, which gives Trample as well. Also lets the creature regenerate. So I kind of wish I'd rather play Elephant Guide and Wild Mongrel this turn. So yeah, I'll play Elephant Guide here. I wish this were for each aura, but it's not. So I'm going to play the Elephant Guide here and just attack with this Saproling. If my opponent wants to double block and kill it, I get a 3/3 elephant, so I'm not going to be upset about that. Yeah, they're going to tap that. Okay, well, now there's no point in attacking, obviously. 3/4 into 3/4. But the Saprolings are going to keep coming. That's good news for us. We're going to go ahead and play the Mongrel. Gives us something else to put our Gaia's Embrace on that is actually sizable, instead of us just trying to go wide. But this thing is really slowing us down. I mean, yeah, we could use Benevolent Bodyguard, but that hardly seems worth it. Rose Faithful. So our opponent has yet to play an aura, so they may just be a green-white deck. Here comes another Saproling. Okay, we have a Shelter now too. Okay. I'm going to play Gaia's Embrace on Wild Mongrel here. And I'm going to go to combat. At which point my opponent does what? Taps down the 5/5 Trampler, I guess? Yeah. I kind of feel like I should wait for a turn where I can cast Shelter too and really blow my opponent out. Because here he can double... Well, we get an elephant though, so it doesn't really... I think I'm okay with that actually. So let's attack with that Saproling. If he wants to double block, I am okay with it. We'll kill the Simian. And we'll get an elephant token in our token deck, apparently. So we get our elephant token. And we end our turn. Get another sapling. God, I knew it, like I said, I knew he was nuts, but every upkeep nuts? I know there's like a whole cycle in this set of things that do something every upkeep. It's like a callback to Force of Nature, and I guess that's one of them. Most of them are Force of X. You know, they have that as their name, Force of whatever. This thing is going to be a problem for our opponent because, well, except for that he can just keep tapping it, I guess. I guess that makes it less of a problem. We need more auras. I mean, we can just try to go wide with Saprolings, I guess. Urnum Djinn, huh? Let's go to combat. I mean, eventually we will go wide enough. We're getting 2 Saprolings a turn, after all. Okay. We are not going to do anything about that, even though we could use Shelter. It doesn't really seem worth it. We will play Urnum Djinn and leave up green so we can regenerate him potentially. So yeah, we can give something Forest Walk, but we're going to give it to this. My opponent is never going to attack with that. So, yeah. So that's not really a downside. It's just a big creature, basically. Ah, there they go. With their aura. And yeah, that's something... We took out our Saltari Emissary, but the way things are going, it does seem like the ground is getting rather clogged up, and we may want some more evasive creatures to put our auras on. So that's something to keep in mind. He does have to use his white here to make it unblockable in the first place. So, yeah. He can regenerate it right now too, though. So this game, I think, is just going to be me biding my time until I can just attack with all these Saprolings, I guess. Or a turn where Shelter will really make a difference. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to do. I don't know why I didn't attack. Like the best I could do was try to block it, and you can just regenerate it, even if you don't tap the white for it. Alright, so we're going to give Benalish Trapper Forest Walk. Enjoy it. Go to town. Yeah, we just don't have enough evasive creatures is what this feels like. So we're going to go to combat. I'm sure my opponent will tap down our Mongrel. Well, maybe they won't, since it doesn't really matter. Although it does, because I actually get in for 1 if what they do is just block with that and regenerate it. So that kind of matters. No, yeah, they're going to tap it. Sounds good. It's going to be a long game. We want our guys with Shadow, I think. Of course, Shadow guys can block other Shadow guys. We will play another Mongrel. We just got to get wide enough that we can do enough damage to kill our opponent, which is difficult since they're at 24, but we can get there. We have Shelter to keep a blowout from happening. Of course, in the meantime, our opponent can start attacking us with Saltari Emissary. I don't think I have a board pump effect. I should. Elephant Guide. Why does this say creature you control? Yeah, my opponent's really making me regret taking out my dude. who can my evasive guys with Shadow. That's for sure. I wish Shelter would let me give this protection from green and just make it both of those auras fall off. Wouldn't that be cool? That's probably why they have it worded the way they do, because it would be even better if it lets you do that. Right, he's going to attack. No. Are you just afraid of my Saproling Horde? I guess so. Urnimjin will give Benalish Trapper. There's another elephant guy. That makes things a little more interesting, but honestly not that much more because we don't have any evasion. I mean, it'll matter for when we finally swing in the end. But yeah. So I'm going to put it on Urnimjin here. Should I just like throw all my Saprolings at my opponent right now? I don't think it's time for that just yet. That time will come. But we're not there yet. So we have 13, 15, 22, 27. We have 31-ish damage. I really think my opponent should be attacking me with that emissary. I'm not sure what... Because that puts me on a clock where I start having to do things instead of putting me in a position where I can sort of hang back for a while. And that makes a real difference. I could start holding on to cards. Oh, there's another elephant guide though, so why would I? Let's put this elephant guide on an elephant. All right. I mean, we definitely have more creatures. The question is whether or not our opponent has some sort of trick planned. It's not, there's no point in attacking because this can block and regenerate and we would just lose our Urnimjin. And yeah, we'd get a 3-3, but who cares? I kind of feel like next turn might be time to just swing with everything though. Because I can use Shelter to save my best creature, which is what he'll block with Sultari Emissary. Yeah, let's wait one more turn, see what happens. And then we'll try to go off. We'll use Benevolent Bodyguard to give this protection from white, which will obviously prevent them from being able to do anything. Make it so that it can't attack. All right. They still have 4 cards in their hand, which is pretty scary for me. I'm not sure what it means. Okay, so let's go to combat. What do we take on the backswing? I guess they're keeping cards for Wild Mongrel is what they're thinking, which makes sense. On the backswing, I can take a lot, but not enough. Not enough. So we're going to go for an Alpha Strike here. I think 2 Alpha Strikes will be enough to just waylay our opponent. Alright, so I'm going to sacrifice Benevolent Bodyguard and give this protection from white. One thing we may not want to attack with is our dead Dreampod Druid, so I'm probably not going to attack with him. But everything else is going to go. Is there a card in this format that says target opponent sacrifices all attacking creatures? I feel like there's not. But who knows? Yeah, this is definitely an absurd card. Yeah, they've got something. We just don't know what. Okay. So we can regenerate this. They're taking a lot of damage there, buddy. 15, 17. I mean, it's... Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty close to lethal. So 5. So that's right now we're hitting for 15, 16, 17. Yeah, so there's no point in discarding cards right now. We'll just I'm planning on using Shelter to save the Urnum Djinn, although we could use it to save something from Benalish Trapper later instead, which might just be better. Yeah. That might just be better because it means once again I can just attack with everything, including my smallest creatures. So, I mean my biggest creatures, even though this will be dead. I think what we just need to go wide. We don't need big bodies really. And this is going to give us an elephant anyway, so we're holding on to one. Okay, so I think I'm going to discard my first card here to try to keep my mongrel alive, my plains. And we'll see what our opponent does. Because we don't really need it anyway. Color of our choice. Black. All right. Well, we're not discarding anything else. Shelter's too valuable, I think. So we just let both of these things die. And we get an elephant token. Killed some of his board. Oh, wait a second. He didn't discard. Where did his wild mongrel go? Oh, it's just right there. Okay, then. I'm blind, apparently. All right, Saproling number 12. We have Shelter. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, we got there. Wow. That was fun. Did we take... I don't really want Giant Mantis or things to kill flyers or angle. One is a way to blow up enchantments. But we don't have one of those, unfortunately. Maybe we do bring in one of these guys, because they're obviously great with auras. Could cut like a Fyndhorn Elves for it. Let's give that a try. Yeah. Okay, I think this is a pretty good hand. This time I think we just hold on to the plains instead of cycling it. We'll see what we draw. I guess if I draw a third land, I don't really see the harm in cycling Secluded Steppe. I mean, a third land that's not Secluded Steppe. If I don't, I probably... Yeah, okay, now I will cycle it. So we have plenty of other stuff to do. Okay, and we have one of those too. Should we be running the Shadow guys? Maybe. I mean, maybe they're just better than Wild Mongrel in this deck, but that just seems wrong. Wild Mongrel is an insane card. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna play... Would I rather play Phantom Nomad or Wild Mongrel? The Nomad's obviously great with like Elephant Guide, but Mongrel might just be better because it's just big forever. Yeah, let's play the Mongrel. See if our opponent just drops an Elephant Guide here and swings in. Nope, they're just going to swing for 2. Griffin Guide. Okay, so our opponent leaving mana up has me a little bit concerned about trying to just drop Elephant Guide on my guy. Next turn we can leave Shelter up. He may be trying to flash in something. We know he has the flash in ape guy. Should I just play assuming that that's all he's got? Seems risky, but if that's all he has, then we're really not worried about it with our Elephant Guide. We can also just discard 2 cards though. Like there, you know, I could give up Armor of Thorns and a Plains and not be too sad about it. I could really just flash in Armor of Thorns too, but if my opponent is then tapped out having played that guy, I can then just put Elephant Guide on Wild Mongrel and not be worried about it. Okay, let's just attack with Wild Mongrel as is. If nothing happens, I think I just play Phantom Nomad this turn. Do they flash in some apes? No, it doesn't look like they do. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play Phantom Nomad, and in my turn... Are these guys just better than Phantom Nomad? Maybe. I just like the idea of a creature who just can't die to damage, though, you know? And that's what these become when you start putting Auras on them. Alright, we take 2. Where's our shaman guy to make a bunch of saplings? That's what we really want. Okay, so... now we have Shelter. Opponent has 4 mana up. But I still think it's fine to just attack for 4 here. Like, that's a race we win if our opponent doesn't do something. I could... maybe I do just put an aura on a guy and then use Shelter to protect it. Let's give that a try. So something to keep in mind is that we should not make our Wild Mongrel black at any point because this can only be attached to black creatures. So we're going to do this. And hopefully our opponent's going to try to play a removal spell. And they do. And we can go Shelter. Name Protection from White. That doesn't do anything. And we attack for 6. That seems pretty good, right? Also, we drew a card and it's our Dream Pod Druid, because why not? So let's attack for 6. We are, you know, our shields are down now. We can't Shelter in response to another removal spell, but... next turn, if we draw a card, we can put Elephant Guide on something and leave Shelter up. Of course, I want to play my Dream Pod Druid pretty badly. Alright, the opponent attacks us for 2. Wild Mongrel, okay. Okay. You know, the smart thing to do might be to try to just play Dream Pod Druid or Urnimjin. Well, have I convinced myself that that's just what I should do? Playing Elephant Guide here on this is actually a pretty big deal because our opponent would have to discard 3 cards just to keep his guy from dying. Question is whether he has another removal spell. Playing Urnimjin might just be safer. I mean, we can give this Forest Walk and it doesn't really matter. It's already unblockable. And we still have a huge creature. All right, I think I'm gonna go for broke here though, and I'm gonna play Elephant Guide on Phantom Nomad. Let's see what happens. Hopefully nothing. Yeah, okay. So I think we just attack with the Nomad. We could attack with the Mongrel, and yeah, my opponent would give up some cards, but I think doing it when I have Shelter up is much better because we can make him discard a bunch of cards and then give protection. Of course, we have to make sure we pick the right color with Wild Mongrel because it's a silly, silly card. Right, they're just going to take that, which is a good sign for us. 7. In return, it would be nice to be able to play Dream Pod Druid and Elephant Guide on, in the same turn. That's what I really want to do. Right, we're gonna take 2, because then we can start building the saplings again. Okay, now we can do that. Seems a little dangerous, but we'll find out. So let's attack with Phantom Nomad. Okay, they're gonna block. See what all they do here. This could be a fine time to use Shelter. Choose a color. Creatures you control gain protection from the chosen color until end of turn. Okay, so I'm guessing you're choosing white. But I'm happy to see your mana tap the way it's tapped. I can tell you that. You can discard 3 cards. Actually, because of how silly the Nomad is. Okay, so I think now... Is it better to go wide or play big dude? I think it's better to go wide here. I think I'm going to play Dream Pod Druid. And I'm going to stick an Elephant Guide on it. And we're going to return, and we get our first Saproling, because that's how that works. And I think next turn we can attack fairly confidently with everything with Shelter up. We should probably just start holding on to cards, by the way, because we can pump our model. Okay, opponent just gave up. Yeah, our deck's insane. Hopefully we can continue to do well. I'll see you guys in the next match. All right, we're starting our second match now. We are 1-0. We would like to play first again and hope for some similar luck. This seems like a solid hand. Turn 1 Bodyguard, turn 2 Nomad, turn 3 Elephant Guide on the Nomad, and that means scary things for our opponent. So that works for me. Might even get in for 1 in the meantime. I was kind of hoping I'd draw the guy who makes all the Saproling tokens, but sometimes you gotta settle. So yeah, we can just drop Elephant Guide on our Nomad. If our opponent tries to use removal in response, we use our Bodyguard. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so our opponent is the Cycling deck, which is a little bit scary, as I understand. But the good news is we can just go Elephant Guide. We do not like Astral Slide, our deck, though, because it will drop the auras off of our creatures and stuff. That's not really what we want to happen. Okay. I'm just going to take whatever Stoic Champion's going to hit us for here. complete lack of ability to draw some other things is a little bit of an annoying thing, but I kind of feel like just going all in on an 8/8 Phantom Nomad's pretty good. It'll be a 6/6 at its smallest, so that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go to town here. I wish it had trample, but you know, can't have everything. So yeah, the opponent is gonna block now, which will shrink it down to a 7/7, and we're gonna end our turn. Does our opponent have Astral Slide? That's kind of my question. They would play it now. If they do, we'd get in for 7 at least, but then we'd be in some trouble because we'd just lose both those Elephant Guides. And that is not good. I mean, maybe I should have put one on the Bodyguard, but the Bodyguard's duty is to die at some point. Although, I mean, yeah, I get an elephant, but still. Okay. Right, I don't mind that at all. Gives us another creature, so our opponent can't just keep, like, blocking. So our opponent can provoke, which is obnoxious. It's good old onslaught block mechanic. They're just going to take it. Interesting. I'm going to play Lane, and I'm going to play Basking Rootwalla, and end my turn. So they can provoke, but I'm not that concerned about provocation, let's say. It's not like it really does much to stop this. He's going after the Bodyguard, though, which does make sense. So, in the event my opponent has Sorcery Speed White Removal, we don't want to name green because the Elephant Guides would fall off. But in the event they have it, I'm going to give this protection from white until end of turn. If they have instant speed, we're screwed. So, and it looks like they do. They do. We do get 2 elephants and a 1/1 spirit with flying. So it's not like the best deal ever for our opponent. But, you know, we're pretty okay with it on the whole. Thanks to Elephant Guide. Yeah. Maybe we just attack with that makes it a little harder to attack with everything. Maybe even impossible. I don't think so, though. Send them all in. Opponent has to discard 2 cards to successfully block with Wild Mongrel and not have his Mongrel die. So that's nice. It looks like we're just going to kill that guy, so we get in for 4, kill a creature. We probably lose a creature, but our opponent has to just empty their hand, so we're still definitely... we have the advantage right here. Yeah, they had to discard a Gaia's Embrace. I'm pretty happy with that. They keep their 5, but they're at 3, and their hand is empty. We're going to hold on to our stuff in our hand just in case we draw our hand. I hope they just drew a land. So he can provoke and kill my spirit. But that obviously opens him up to lethal unless he plays another blocker. He is a pretty great guy for the Aura deck. I think I said that multiple times, but I think in the end we didn't end up playing him. He's hard to block, and he can just start killing things. It's a pretty cool mechanic. I don't know why it's never, ever been brought back. It's kind of odd, actually. Okay, well, in that case, we're just going to have them kill each other, hopefully. had to block, if you're wondering. I didn't say I did, but that's how provoke works. If I tried not to, it would have said, why aren't you blocking? Hey, we do have one shadow guy left in our deck, I guess. All right, so let's attack with both. To block the elephant and have his guy survive, he has to discard the one card in his hand. Of course, it could be an arrogant worm, which would not be good. But we do have a Sultari Trooper. Does he discard a Madness? No, just Swords to Plowshares, okay. So we get in for 1 here. And we play Sultari Trooper, which will represent lethal. My cat is like climbing all over me, just beneath where you can see her. All right, yeah, we got there. This deck is nuts. I love Vintage Masters. We did get pretty lucky that we were just like, yeah, Dreampod Druid, and then like 4 Elephant Guides came our way. Yeah, we've yet to actually play Fyndhorn Elves, and I don't really think it's that great in our deck. I think I'm going to cut it again and just put in like a... maybe this guy. Like, the only thing it allows us to do is play turn 2 Elephant Guide, but we don't want to play turn 2 Elephant Guide on, like, any of these. It's not bad on the Rootwalla, so it doesn't really allow us to do much. We haven't drawn Battle Screech at all. See, we can win a game without Saprolings. We did it there. Okay, this is a good hand. It's not as good as some of them because we don't have a great thing to put auras on right away, but it's solid. We can play turn 1 Bodyguard and like hope we draw something worth putting an aura on. If we don't, we have Benalish Trapper as our backup plan, which isn't bad by any means. But yeah, we'll play the... In fact, that's probably what we'll do on turn 2 either way. Mongrel. Early Mongrel is scary. Yeah, we're gonna play the Trapper. We may have to stall for a while until we find what we're looking for, and the Trapper certainly allows us to do that. So we're just gonna take this. Maybe our opponent will just discard their hand and hit us for 7. That's the kind of messed up thing you can do when you take control of your opponent's turn. Just that's a messed up thing to do. Ooh. We might win this game with Battle Screech instead. Do I just attack for 2 here? I don't know. I kind of feel like leaving the Trapper back is probably just better. Which means we can just play Secluded Step, but we may just want to cycle it. And we will at the end of this turn, most likely. So let's just attack with the Bodyguard. Second Plains and end our turn. Because now, next turn, we can go Battle Screech twice and get 4/1/1 tokens. It's a pretty good thing to put Armor of Thorns or Gaia's Embrace on. So we're just going to go ahead and tap Wild Mongrel. Alright, our opponent is in trouble, I'd say. We can still attack with one thing, but just in case our opponent jacks us up somehow, you know, I don't know every card in this format like I do in others. I'm just going to Battle Screech first. And I'm going to cast it with flashback, and I'm going to tap down these 3. Yeah. So suddenly we have 4 flying damage in the air. Oh, did I forget to cycle my secluded step? I think I did, which kind of sucks, but hey. Opponent might have the ape to flash in, I guess, in which case I'm glad I did what I did. It's not a big deal if they do. Ooh, no, but they do have Arrogant Worm, which is also bad news. Yeah, that's... Now we're going to be racing. I think our auras are going to give us the edge in the race. Yeah, Benevolent Bodyguard, that's... I'm sorry, my man. I mean, we also have this to really screw up the race. We'll just let them hit each other. It doesn't really matter. Maybe actually something there wouldn't have made a difference. Oh god, they're just madnessing everything out now. That does make the race a little harder on us. They're gonna hit us hard this turn. For at least 7 and probably more. Yeah, probably more. Radiant's Judgment is pretty good against us. I wonder if they have another one in their hand. They don't have white mana right now, which is definitely good for us, but that's not. Oh, come on. Opponent can hit us for 10 here. I think that's what they're going to do, and I think we take it. Ouch. Okay. So, I think I play... I can play a defensive game here, but I don't think that's what we want to do. I think we can cycle our land first. I think that's what we're going to do first. And think about our plan here. With a little more information. Okay, that information did not help. We're going to play Elephant Guide. We can tap down. Guess what we're going to tap down is Basking Rootwalla. Can actually hit us harder right now. That still means we take a ton of damage. So that's not so good. I think I'm just going to end the turn. Well, I guess I can probably just smash with... Yeah, we'll just smash with 3 of those. Actually, my plan is to block Arrogant Worm. With the 4/4. Hopefully. Take 6. No, I'm going to tap that. What am I talking about? Good news about auras is I'll have all the information by the time my opponent goes to combat, but... Yeah. That was a pretty disgusting turn there where our opponent was just like... Arrogant Worm and also Basking Rootwalla. Okay, so we're going to try to block the Arrogant Worm here. Potentially take 5 from Wild Mongrel. See if this works for us. If our opponent has Shelter or something like that, that's not going to be good for us. What's actually going to happen? The fewer creatures they have, the better, but especially with Benalish Tracker, but we have to hope they don't play anymore. I'm sure they have something, otherwise they wouldn't be thinking. Their turn would be over, right? He may have another Arrogant Worm that he's planning on discarding, which is why I'm only going to be attacking with birds. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that is... Oh, it's actually not that good. It can block it once, which, you know, hey, that is something, I guess. Can we win a race? I'm not sure we can. I'm going to play Gaia's Embrace. It does give trample. 6/6 trample. No, I'm gonna play it here. I'm gonna attack for 6 in the air. And I'm gonna end my turn. Maybe we should have played armor. Then we can't tap down one of their guys. So yeah. We tap down the Root Wallow right now. My elephant's probably gonna have to block something for us not to die here. We do have Armor of Thorns at instant speed, which could take down Wild Mongrel at least. But I think just slapping it on these guys is probably better. Armadillo Cloak. God. We wish we had one of those. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Now the race is like impossible. Wait, you don't give lifelink? No, you do, basically. I was going to say, I swear you give lifelink. Okay, well, we got to tap that. We can't let them gain life. That also means we have to lose our elephant token. But that's not the end of the world. Especially because on our turn, I think we just win now, actually. We block with our elephant token. No, not quite. Not quite. Freaking Saltari Trooper. Opponent can't actually... Ooh. Oh, I don't have 2 green mana. What am I talking about? I was going to say they can't pay for that, so we could actually get them here, but we can't. Oh, well, Mongrel. So... All right. Well, I think we just attack for 6 in the air again, and then play both the creatures in our hand. Yeah. And then we're going to play Saltari Trooper, who can actually block the other Saltari Trooper. Our opponent's just dead in the air next turn, if we can get there. Wait a second. Okay, I was going to say, if I played Armor of Thorns there on this, could I have won? No, luckily. Because that would be bad. That'd be embarrassing. So we're going to play Mongrel. We're just trying to block here. We're trying to just stay alive. And we're going to play Saltari Trooper. We just got to stay alive so our birds can kill our opponent. That is basically our plan here. I think we have a decent chance of doing it. Because we're going to tap this again so our opponent can't gain life. And then we can just block both of these and kill them in the air. Theoretically. Because we cannot let our opponent gain life. Now that I said that, they're going to play like Tyros Faithful or whatever. That'd be awesome. This is a close one, that's for sure. Not sure how many of these I'm going to get to record. It may only be 2 since it's only on Magic Online for like a week. I'm going to try and see if I can do more, but I can't make any promises. Might do Vintage Cube, though, after this is gone. Since everyone's over Ixalan, I keep running polls and everyone says just do whatever is in Ixalan, basically. So, like 80%. I understand that. It's a pretty stale format. It's all about the, tribal formats are usually really fun, but for some reason this one is just too, I don't know. You just feel like you're drafting the same deck every time. And that's not awesome. Opponent is deep in thought. I'm wondering if they rage quit on me and are just like letting the timer run out. That's never the cool thing to do. Okay, so they're going to go to combat. We're going to tap down Wild Mongrel. I think the right thing to do here is just block both of these. Because if he has a combat trick, if he has a lot of things, we're just dead. So I think that's just what we have to do. Even if he kills our big bird, armor of thorns plus another bird is enough to kill them. So I feel like we're in good shape. They could have, I mean, they have 3 cards in their hand. It could be back-breaking. But yeah, we just have to block both of these, I think. They could play like a giant mantis. That still wouldn't solve our opponent's problems. Okay, Rootwalla is attacking alone? No. Yeah, I have to block them both. I think that's just what I have to do. Ooh. Okay. I still get a blocker out of this deal. Why didn't you kill my guy with Shadow? Okay. Now we're in really good shape, I think. We are just going to block both to be safe. Yeah, we got there. One with Battle Screech that time instead of with a bunch of Saproling tokens. And I mean, Aura's played a role, certainly. So we're 2-0 now. We haven't even lost a game yet, I don't think, have we? So I'll see you guys in the final match. Hopefully we can go 3-0. All right, we're going to the final match with Vintage Master Joff. We're 2-0, and we're finally given sort of a mediocre hand, but it's like one area. If I draw an Aura, it's incredible. So that's what we're thinking about. Come here, Kookie. My cat, man. Do I mulligan? I think, oh, man. I think I'm going to keep. It's a dangerous keep. I could see going either way, but we just got to draw an Aura, and we have like 8 of them. Of course, we really don't want to be drawing land, so that's not good. Just no more lands the rest of the game, or at least our cycling lands, you know? I'd be okay with that. Oh, there we go. That's the dream. We have to hope our opponent doesn't have removal. We don't have a way to protect our Dream Pod Druid this time around, but I think we just go for it. Try to just spike here with a huge Dream Pod Druid and Saprolings coming out every which way. If our opponent taps out, we're ecstatic. So that's what we really want them to do. The problem is, I think if people have played this format enough, they know if Dream Pod Druid's in play, tapping out is a bad idea. But they're going to do it. They are also... Did we play all green white decks? I think we played all green white decks, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to go Elephant Guide. Opponent has 1 green mana, so they can't really interact. And we can actually attack with it here. And even if they kill it now, we get an elephant token out of it, plus we get a Saproling on their upkeep. So it's a pretty good start given the kind of hand we kept. Yes, cat. This is the place you want to be. Come here. Okay. Doesn't concern me much either. Really don't want more lands, but like, you know, with Dream Pod Druid in play, it's not a death sentence. So we smash for 5. Now we play Sultari. No more lands. I mean, we kept a 5-lander. I can't complain that much about it, right? Another Saproling joins the party. Okay, Brilliant Halo. Okay. Does that get me to back off? I don't think it does now that I have Shelter. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we're just attacking with both of these guys. Yeah, if that's just a chump block, I'm cool with it. Okay, they've got something. Oh, just cycling. It's pretty gross because you get to draw the card and you get to search your library for basic land cards, so it's sort of a 2-for-1. Oh, and my opponent's going to be able to get Krosan Tusker back into their hand. Yeah, onto the battlefield, actually. It's kind of gross. I feel like we're in decent enough shape that that's not like a deadly combo, though. Yeah. Yeah, they get to put... that is a cool combo, but luckily we have a Saproling coming out every turn who can just block it. And we have Shelter, which can even keep us attacking if that's what we want to be doing. So, I'm super concerned. I definitely just throw a Saproling in front of it if it attacks me. So my opponent can sacrifice this and then get back Brilliant Halo like whenever they want. So that's kind of interesting. All right, are we going to need to use Shelter? Probably not with just green mana being tapped. Yavimaya Elder. Kind of looks like the Trooper is going to be doing most of the work from here on out. And, you know, Saprolings. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty good. We don't want to tap our mana like that, though. Yeah, that way we can leave up Shelter. So we're going to put Gaia's Embrace on Saltari Trooper here. If he tries to kill it, we'll use Shelter. That's 5. They'll have to block this too. 5 Saprolings. They can block 3 of them. I can only get in for 2. I have to attack with Dreampod Druid here as well to kill my opponent. And I just wouldn't because they would block it. So it's not worth it. I'm just going to attack with the large Trooper. Which has them dead next turn anyway. I wonder what my opponent's trying to ramp into, though. Because obviously with Yavimaya Elder, they can do some pretty gross things. Looks like that's what they're going to do. If my opponent's creatures had all been one color, giving this protection would have obviously been awesome, but they weren't. So yeah, there's another land. What's your plan? I'm hoping I can kill you, whatever it is. Saproling time. I mean, they don't have that much mana. They just have 7. Yeah, we got there. We are killing it, man. 4 Elephant Guides and 2, it's this guy is pretty gross. So we're going to do this again, and we're going to put in this again. I don't think I've ever actually drawn either of them, which is kind of weird. Yeah. It is weird. Because I've sided them out, I mean, and then never drawn a copy of either. All right. See if we can finish this off 6-0. 3-0, 6-0. This is a good format to do it with. Ooh, this is a good hand. I wish I could play that Benevolent Bodyguard in turn 1, and I also wish I had an Aura. But it's still a keep. I mean, it's, you know, could be better, but it's pretty great, so I can't complain too much. Okay, so this may be a Battle Screech hand. I think I'm just going to play Secluded Step tapped in my turn, just like my opponent did. Okay. All right. Well, now I really wish I could have played Benevolent Bodyguard in turn 1, because now I can do the Elephant Guide thing, but we'll see what happens. So again, if they tap out here, we're thrilled. They do have 2 mana up. I don't think there's a lot. I mean, there's Swords to Plowshares. They're tapping out, which we're good. We're happy with. Okay. We're a little less happy with it than we might have been because of the fact that our opponent can discard enough cards to kill our Dreampod Druid in combat, but it might just be worth it because they have to discard all but 1 card from their hand. I still get to have an elephant token. That seems pretty powerful. And actually, they have to discard all of them if they want their mongrel to stay alive. I think we just attack. I think we just bring it. Yeah. And we will get our little Saproling token. Next turn, we probably play the Bodyguard and Basking Rootwalla, if only to set up Battle Screech. Cycling Noble Templar for Plains. I'm guessing our opponent has Astral Slide, which is not good for us, as I've mentioned. We've been lucky not to run into it. There's Stoic Champion. Yeah, we're just going to take it. We get a Saproling. Okay. So we're going to attack with our 5/5. Could just play a big guy, but playing a white creature ahead of Battle Screech is pretty good. I could just play Battle Screech here and then next turn flash it back, but I think I'd rather do Rootwalla and Bodyguard here. We get another Saproling. I feel like every deck we've played has been green-white, which is really weird. Would not happen if this weren't a league. We definitely, like, in terms of being like the aura deck, got there more than any other decks in the color pair that we've played against. Okay. Just the Trooper. All right, we are just going to take 2. Our opponent is making it so we're going to have to use Battle Screech, basically. We can't really attack effectively now with this. Oh, that's annoying. So Battle Screech it is. Attacking with Rootwalla isn't worth it. No, yeah, it's Battle Screech time. I wish we could block this guy, but the good news is we can block everybody else and just start attacking in the sky. So that's our plan. Lingering Souls 1.0. Yeah, we're just in our turn. Get another Saproling. We have to hope they don't get an aura for their guy with Shadow, which is how we beat our opponent in our first game. Because that will kill us very quickly. Just taking 2 is a lot better. I'll play something with Reach. More flying, please. Oh, good. Double Soltari Troopers. Great. That is what I wanted to see. So we take 4 from them next turn. I'm thinking maybe we just force the issue here. Force our opponent to do something. Because those troopers are going to have us dead in 2 turns either way. Assuming they don't have an aura in their hand. So I'm going to get a Saproling and have an Urnimjin in play to block enough to not just like be outright dead. Because I'll take 4. That's if I don't attack with Dreampod Druid though. But I will get an Elephant if they kill Dreampod Druid, which they can't do with ease. Okay, let's do this. Everything but... I'm not going to attack with Benevolent Bodyguard is what it is. Okay, Thunderbrought. Only got 2 cards in their hand, so that's good for us. And their Soltari Trooper can't block anything. Okay, it'll be interesting to see if they cycle here. We can, of course, use Benevolent Bodyguard to save something. So let's see what they do. That makes sense. So we will pump this. Opponent will do something. Oh, Crows and Tusker. So they're going to kill each other now. At least they still kill each other. These 2 guys are both dead. The Mongrel will survive. But we're still going to get a Saproling, and we're going to play Urnimjin. We have to hope that they do not. Oh, you get +2/+2. It's a huge boost. Okay. So then we're going to play Urnimjin. And hope to God they don't have an aura, basically. That's their way to beat us, is if they put an aura on a trooper. Other than that, I think we're fine. All right, Urnimjin. Do we want more Shadow against a Shadow deck that has multiple Shadow creatures? Because then we can block them. These are horrible blockers, though, even against themselves, as we saw in the last game. We don't have to give anything Forest Walk right now, which is nice. It's not until our turn. When it becomes time, all we're going to do is give it to Shadow creatures. So our opponent only has 2 actual blockers. So they've got to kill me here. And like Elephant Guide wouldn't quite do it, I guess. Something like Armadillo Cloak would be a problem, but it wouldn't kill us, and I think we'd still win on the backswing. Opponent has to have something very impactful. We have Benevolent Bodyguard if we need it. We have lots of blockers. Basically, we're in excellent shape, you know, other than being at 10 life and looking at 2 Soltari Troopers. But the good news is we can swing harder. Saprolings are coming back in Rivals of Ixalan, if you hadn't heard. The Saproling token was spoiled, so that'll be fun. They're an interesting creature type. There's very few actual cards that have it. There's a few a handful of them. Most of them just make sapling tokens. You have black mana in your deck? I'm scared now. Oh god. What's about to happen? Okay, there's an elephant guide. So that is now, we're now taking 8 damage that we just can't do anything about. So let's hope they don't have anything else. 7 damage. I overrated how much. Okay, interesting. I feel like we just win. So we're gonna give you Forest Walk. Enjoy it. Now we also have an Armor of Thorns, which I can cast at instant speed if necessary. So we're just gonna go to combat, and everybody's gonna attack. Oh god, what do you have? Oh, that was scary. Were they just trying to bluff me out there? They were. 3-0. That's nice. I have 1 trophy in this format after playing it once, and I have like 3 in all of Ixalan after playing it like 25 times. So that's nice. I'll be doing at least 1 more of these for Monday, but hopefully I'll be able to do more than 2, but at least 2 are going to happen. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again next week for another, not next week, but I guess it is next week, on Monday for another Vintage Masters draft.